Hey guys, welcome. Grab a drink and come and listen to some tales from Azeroth. Today I'm going to be talking about Battlegrounds, PvP in general, world PvP, anything to do with anything associated with killing the opposite faction in World of Warcraft. Couple with the topics would just be sort of best battleground, stuff like that. My own personal experience, pretty much. It'll be just going through all of them sort of things. This feels weird, just like talking to myself in a sense, but yeah, let's crack on with it. So battlegrounds are something that I've always loved within World of Warcraft, within WoW itself. It's the unlike PvE, I find PvP a lot more engaging. Now, this can be argued because I haven't done sort of latest battlegrounds, latest raids, because obviously latest raids and sort of anything above maybe Burning Crusade, sort of end of Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, there were a lot more mechanics to boss fights. So I haven't really done very mechanical fights yet. AQ 40 and AQ 20 are coming out in Classic in the next I can't do maths, 27 days from as I'm recording this. In 27 days, that's when AQ will be coming out. So maybe there's a few more mechanical tougher mechanical bosses in that I might sort of get me more intrigued in PvE. But I'm sort of in PvE for the social aspect and the gear, because obviously that's where you're going to get gear from, unless you are very determined to go for ranking in Battlegrounds. Rank 14 specifically for warriors and stuff. I myself am a mage. I play mage in Classic. I play a lot of different classes. I mained a lot of different classes in retail, but from what I'm feeling at the moment, I'm feeling that I'm going to go Shadow Hunter, survival hunter in Shadowlands. That's mainly because of PvP scene. So my sister plays a Disc Priest, and I want something that can pair quite well with a Disc Priest. Survival Hunter seems to be that sort of partnership. Elemental Shaman's quite good as well. That's another main of mine. Mage is always fun, but it's tough to set yourself up to get the burst, if that makes sense. Like, it's a very short time window. But Survival Hunter's what I'm going to go for. But yeah, what I do with regards to WoW always has a PvP aspect in mind. Like, will I enjoy it in PvP? And sort of how does it play in PvP? Because I need something that has a fail safe built into it. So mage has ice block, 2 ice blocks if you spec into it, couple shields, blink. It's a very safe class, as well as it has a lot of high burst damage. But say on the other hand, a warrior has very little sort of utility. You just blow someone up. Like, if you get to them, they're dead. But if you get kited, you're dead. It's that sort of thing. I can't play that sort of style. That's not how I play. So I base my decisions, whatever I do in WoW, off of Battlegrounds. Off of how well a class, that's the word, not race, because that has different aspects to it as well in Battlegrounds, actually. But in terms of class, I pick it based on how good it is in PvP, and PvE is very secondary to that for me. I do mess up sometimes. I picked a human mage for Classic, and I thought that they had the every man for themselves talent, like they do in retail, which is the trinket, which is the extra trinket. Turns out no, that's perception in Classic. Perception, if you don't know, is a 20-second buff that you get when you activate it, and it will dramatically increase your stealth detection. Now, don't get me wrong, this has found many rogues, and it is dramatic how much it increases stealth detection. But the escape artist for the gnomes, I'm pretty sure can get rid of any slows, roots, and stuff like that. So warriors are doubly screwed if they even try and fight me as a gnome. I'm pretty sure it can take away hamstring. Don't quote me on that though, because I've never seen a gnome mage use it on that. But it's just my guess from what I know the ability does. But doing battlegrounds, you obviously come across many different characters in it. There's been a couple over the years that I've met. There's one that I remember, this was several years ago. This is when I first started playing WoW. And I was introduced to the concept of twinks. Twinks are level 19, 29, 39, 49, 59 characters. They're that level because that's the end of the bracket. So within a battleground, you can have level 10s to 19s, 20s to 29s, etc. So that's when they're at their most peak, if that makes sense. But this is when I was introduced to the world of twinks. And me and my sister were playing, I believe, a rogue ourselves. We made like a couple rogues just to do some battlegrounds with. And there was a 19 twink in this Warsong Gulch. Now, it's an alliance twink. I'm about, I want to say 12 at the time. I might have been a little bit older. Don't quote me on the age there. If I was 12, that's 2008. When did Wrath come out? Wait, my math is completely wrong. Don't even quote me on that. It might have been a little bit older, around 14. We'll go with 14. But there's this 19 twink, and he's one of them ones where they capture a flag and he complains. We're 1-0 down, and he just goes off on one. He just doesn't like shut his mouth. He just keeps going and complaining that everyone else is awful. He's absolutely insane. He's killing everyone in one shot. Whatever. It's absolute nonsense, honestly. So he's obviously spouting all of this, and we check like the little scoreboard. Little scoreboard is the like window where it shows all the Horde and Alliance, killing blows, deaths, honourable kills, etc. Flags captured, flags returned, all that. You know the good stuff. And I kid you not, me and my sister, who are level 10, freshly level 10, who just entered this little battleground just for fun, are beating him on both killing blows and honourable kills. We call him out on it, and he's basically just sat there. He says nothing else the entire time, and then at the end he just leaves quietly. This is one, I don't even know his name, but I remember him just because of how much he cried and how much he was doing nothing himself. It was really strange. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but it's just one of them people that get stuck in your head. Don't know how, don't know why, they're just stuck in your head. Like, I can't remember, I can barely remember any of the people that I've PvP'd with, like, in the past few months. And I've been ranking a lot. I can name a few people that I've come against or come up with, like, in them few months. But beyond that, no, good luck with that. Excuse me. Sorry, I just had a little, I just got choked up a bit. But basically, there's just loads of people that you meet that you don't necessarily like, and you'll run into these types of people the entire time. You have the complainer, you have the one who's saying that the healers are doing nothing, you have one saying the flag carrier's awful, and you just have so many people who are complaining, but they don't understand that they are the problem as well. Like, there'll be nothing said throughout the entire battleground, and then suddenly when you go 1-0 down, that's when they pipe up. And it's like, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. And it's like, if you want to speak at the start and at least try and lead or something. Don't complain when we're 1-0 down, like, and you think that you're doing everything perfectly, because you're not, mate. I mean, we've literally had people who have not, like, tried and said GG's in the starting room, before the gates have even opened, in the starting room of Warsong Gulch. This is a known warlock, I believe. This was a few weeks back for me, actually. And this is when I was still ranking. This was the last week of my ranking or something. He said GG's and just stood at our graveyard the entire time. Now, when ranking, you'll come up against many things. Pre-mades, Tauren Druids who are nuts, Russian pre-mades. Russian pre-mades are the worst. Crybabies, you'll come up against people who are just absolutely nuts, have engineering gadgets galore, you'll have it all. But this dude, we're not against a pre-made at all, which is perfect, which is what you always want when you're ranking, and in a Warsong Gulch, no pre-made we're against, nice, it's a fair pug v pug. And this dude, before even seeing the team actually, before even seeing if it's a pug or a pre-made, just goes GG. Again, I'm with my sister at the time, and everyone's just putting question mark in the chat. And he's just like, there's no point, just lose. And at this point, you're just wondering, why have you even joined the battleground? There's no point. But, long story short, we go 1-0 up, with him still sat at that graveyard, completely alive, by the way. And he still says, it's a GG's, just lose it. I don't understand some people and the way they work in terms of, like, how their brain churns, is it? Yeah, how their brain churns. Because it's like, we're 1-0 up, we've been doing it 9v10 the entire time, you've just been complaining, so you're the problem, but just lose it anyway. I don't quite understand it, it's very weird. But, so obviously he keeps getting reported. He keeps getting reported, and he gets the debuff that says you've been reported AFK by your teammates, so you have to enter combat, otherwise you'll get no honour. So all he does is run into the middle and just die. That's it. Complaining the entire time. We go 2-0 up, still complaining. After he died once and got the debuff taken off of him, he'd stand there again. And it's just, I don't quite understand. It seems ludicrous that you're just doing that. But some people just do. I don't get it either. But we win that fight. We win the fight. We win the battleground. But it doesn't feel like a win, if that makes sense, because that guy still got the honour as well. That's what kind of annoys me about it, because you have people who just complain and complain and just, like, absolutely go into people and tell them how awful they are, what they should be doing and everything else. And then you win the game and they still get the honour for it as well. And it just feels a bit unfair. It should just be like, well, you didn't contribute anything, so why the hell should you get anything that I've done? It's that sort of thing. I mean, look, it's tough to sort of just kick someone out. I mean, classic is classic. If that's the way they designed it, like you report someone AFK, etc., that's the way they designed it, because it's sort of no changes. There's a couple changes here and there, but I think a couple changes are always good for the sort of healthiness of the game, because it wouldn't have been sustainable if it was the full release in 2004, let's just say, like the layering at the very start. I wonder what they're doing with AQ, because they've just done these stress tests on the PTR, but I wonder if they'll bring back layering on some realms for it, like Fairlena, the NA realm, which has all the streamers and stuff. But, you know, we'll see. I've completely gone off topic there. I've completely forgotten the point. But yeah, no, I remember. But, yeah, look, some people just don't deserve what you guys have done, if that makes sense, in the battleground. You as a team have done, because some people don't pull their weight, pretty much. I mean, there's many people that you meet throughout your time in ranking. I myself went to rank 10. Nothing too major. I'm just lazy. I really don't want to push for that grind. That's 12 hours, sort of average a day, just spamming battlegrounds. I can't do that. I physically cannot. That would ruin the game for me. That would ruin my drive for the game. I'd get burnt out. It's just not what I want. I wanted rank 10 because it's quite easy to do. You get a nice blue PvP set to sort of show off, have it in your bank, show that you've done at least something, and then move on from there. And then Battlegrounds can be fun, and it's just about enjoying yourself. It's about going in as sort of meme specs like Pompyro, stuff like that. That's great fun. I'm yet to do that because after my ranking, I'm currently in boosting spec. So I'm currently making gold for AQ and stuff. But I'm going to be getting back to Battlegrounds very soon, and it will just be for like fun. It's not going to be anything that's super intensive for me. It's not like I need every little bit of honor that I can get. It's just going to be fun. If I kill someone, I kill someone. If I die, I die. If we lose, we lose. If I win, I win. That's the way that I want it to be, and the way I've always wanted it to be. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a bit. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, excuse me. I just had some water sat by me. I just needed a quick drink. My throat was drying out. But you're obviously going to meet some of them worst players. It's inevitable. But the thing is, you also have some really good players as well. Like throughout my time of ranking, I met so many good people. I met pretty much a lot of the Apes team. StormX being one of them. StormX is a insane druid from Apes. He's going to be playing in the what's it called? Classic Brawl? Rumble? Something like that. But basically... Oh, give me 2 seconds. Okay, sorry for that. My throat has gone really dry. It might be the nervousness of just talking to myself, but I think it's just talking for long periods of time without sort of any break, which just dries me out a bit, dries out my throat. You might be able to hear it towards the end, but hey ho, it is what it is. But yeah, I've met a lot of the Apes players. StormX, Parlia, is it? It's a little dwarf Shadow Priest. Really good player. But you just come across these people from different realms, and it's quite fun to sort of see these all different streamers. You can go back, watch yourself on the VOD, etc. It's all good fun. But there's also the best players of the other faction. That's the thing. The best players come from the other faction, because you'll always remember the one feud that you have with the certain player on the other team. You'll remember certain names. You'll remember certain compositions. Like, I remember a Tauren called Stomp the Hoof. Big, chunky Tauren warrior called Stomp the Hoof. We would always have the flag. It'd be me, a druid, and my sister. We would just be having the flag, defending the flag, and he would always be the first one that we see come in to, like, fight us. Stomp the Hoof. He had his little Lionheart helm, his little fucking... I forget what sword it is. The one that looks absolutely awful, but reduces the armor by like 700 and stacks to 3 times. I can't quite remember it, but every warrior has it pretty much. Or most warriors do if you're ranking. It's very good. Some have Ash Candy, but, you know, it's a hunter item, duh. But you'll always remember these, like, names of the Horde, but not the Alliance. That's the thing. Like, you have a feud with a certain mage. Like, you always want to win that sort of mage, like, your counterpart. So if you're a warrior, you want to beat the other warrior. If you're a mage, you want to beat the other mage. To sort of assert your dominance and be like, yep, I'm the better one here. You got nothing on me. When you next see me, you turn around and you run. You scoot off. Go on. Like, it's that sort of thing. But yeah, Stomp the Hoof, like, rings a bell. There's probably a couple others, but I can't think of them on the spot, to be honest with you. But Stomp the Hoof will always be in my memory. I will definitely remember that. With regards to my ranking, So yeah, I went for rank 10. I did it a few weeks ago. I got all of my blue gear. Actually, 2 weeks ago. 1 week. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago I finished my ranking, which was very upsetting the week before because I got to 98% of the rank and oh, that was just horrible. But yeah, I chose to do rank 10 because it's nice and easy, like I said. You don't have to put too much investment into it, and because, well, something is happening around the world which caused us to be in lockdown, we'll say, so you're not really going anywhere. But yeah, nice and easy. It's not too much stress. And then a couple of weeks after, my sister joined and started to rank up as well because she wanted the light blue set as well. Very rare that she'll go on to rank 11, but the mount might be tempting enough for her. But she's also stopping at rank 10. She's rank 9 at the moment, and I think about 50% of the way through, so maybe one more week. 1 week if you really push it, but 2 weeks sort of minimum. It's just been AV weekend, so it should be a lot easier to, rank up that way. But it's just something to do because we had Blackwing Lair and Molten Core on farm at that point. My guild personally, and like you do the raids, and then there's just nothing to do. I didn't necessarily know about the boosting aspect of Scarlet Monastery, Marauder and stuff like that. I used to farm just arcane crystals, run around the Plaguelands at the early hours of the morning and just get some arcane crystals. That's it. That wasn't fun for me though. It was fun every now and again if I got nothing to do because there's the gold potential, but I wanted something that would drive me to achieve something in the game, and that's where the PvP came in because I wanted to achieve that armor set because it's showing that you've done something when you put on that armor set. And to be honest with you, when I did get to rank 10, I was so happy. I was so happy because it did take several weeks because I am lazy. I didn't really push it, but I was so happy at the end of it, and it felt so good to have achieved that. And because I'm lazy. I'm a lazy person, and to achieve something like that over several weeks is very good, and it was very enjoyable at the time. It really was. And if I could do it again, I would, because it wasn't as intensive as going for rank 14. That's what made it perfect for me, because it wasn't too intense. It was sort of the perfect balance for it. I've obviously been in loads of pre-mades. I've got I've got one in my guild who is rank 14, and I have one in my guild who was rank 12. No one else really ranks in my guild, but both of the other two who were higher ranked than me were both warriors. And they did it for the gear, obviously, because the gear for warriors is beyond better than most things that they're going to get in raid for the most part. Especially the weapons. The weapons are just nuts. But yeah, look, if they want to do it, they want to do it. Go for it. Be my guest. I've dueled the rank 14. He's scary when he gets close to you because he is a warrior. But because I'm a mage, I still do outplay him a lot of the time. It's tough for him to connect to me. And that's what I like about the PvP for mage myself, is that you can keep your distance and deal loads of damage at the same time. It's nuts. But yeah, PvP has just been a massive staple in why I enjoy WoW. It's everything that I look forward to when a new expansion comes out, how the PvP is, when the arenas start up, when BlizzCon, arenas going on, I'll watch it with my sister, we'll be texting about it. Everything that I enjoy within WoW is built around the PvP aspect. Because I see that and it really gets me hyped to play the game as a whole. and explore the other aspects as well. There was another point that I had. It was just there like a second ago that I just thought of, but it's gone. I can't quite think of it. No, it's gone, but I'll let you know if it comes back in a second. But even like when we first started playing the game, my sister and I, it was Wrath of the Lich King, late Wrath of the Lich King. We were both druids. Oh my god, sorry. Both druids. We both feral, I believe, because that's the only thing that could sort of keep with Blood Death Knights, because Death Knights were ridiculous in Wrath of the Lich King. But yeah, we just had, you remember when you had to make your like little 2v2 name and stuff, and then you like got the little charter, someone had to sign it, etc. That was great. Oh, give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Jesus, my eyes are watering. I don't know what's happening to my voice. It's going, but I think my voice will obviously get a lot more used to this, like the more I do it. So first couple are going to be a bit, you know, itchy throat and stuff, but I'll get used to it eventually. Sorry about all of this. But look, PvP's been the heart of everything that I've done. I keep it in mind for the next expansion. Always the next expansion. I need to know what sort of rotation I have, what CCs I have in retail, how I can outplay the other opponent. Like in like just normally in a battleground or a 1v1 setting, actually 1v1 setting with warrior. So you always have to know what spells the other class has. So the warrior, he's going to charge me. I blink. Then he'll switch to berserker stance and intercept me to close the distance again. Again, I'm going to ice block, because I know immediately he's going to hamstring me. So I can't Frost Nova and walk away because he'll get a couple hits off. He's going to intercept, hamstring, I ice block, and then he starts to run away. I cancel the ice block immediately and go for a Frost Nova. Now he'll either trinket it, in which case I cold snap and Frost Nova again, and then into a polymorph, because I want my Frost Nova DR to come off cooldown. DR is diminishing return. So if you're not familiar with it, it's any sort of crowd control can't be applied consistently. There is a diminishing return for it, and that is if you do 2 Frost Novas back to back, the first one will be for 8 seconds and the second one will be for 4 seconds, so it's halved. So it goes from full duration to half duration to a quarter duration, and then they're immune. They're straight up immune. And this is, I believe, 20 seconds or something in retail that the diminishing return stays there. But in Classic, I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. But it's always about outplaying your opponent. Almost like a game of chess, to be honest. Like, you're trying to think, like, 2 steps ahead. What your opponent's going to use, and then what you're going to use to counteract your opponent. Like with Mage 1v1s as well, there's 2 ways that you can like do it. So you can go for the full out aggressive. Depending on your spec, it might just be spam Frostbolt, spam Scorch, spam Fireball, Fire Blast, etc. Or you can go for the sort of calculated one shot. Now the one shot is obviously a lot more dangerous because the mage can outplay it. Because with the one shot you want the polymorph into a big burst damage, which is, say, a Pyroblast and then, like, Pom Pyro. Now, the other mage can outplay this in many ways. You can trinket the polymorph. You can ice block the polymorph. You can ice block the polymorph again. You can counterspell the polymorph. Like, there's many different ways you can outplay your opponent, like, in Battlegrounds. And that's why it's so fun, because it's so intricate, because one mistake and suddenly they win the fight because you didn't expect something that they had. That's why engineering's always good, because you don't expect an iron grenade, and then when it like pops up, they're starting to channel the iron grenade to stun you and deal some damage. You have to react completely differently to what what you thought they were going to do. It's a complete turn on its head, and you've got to be quick with how you're thinking. I'm not sure if any of that made sense, but I think it did the way I was saying it. But look, it's just battlegrounds are one of the most important parts of WoW. It's what the actual WoW franchise is based on, because it's Orc versus Humans, the first war, isn't it, in terms of lore-wise? I believe so, anyway, because they all came through the Dark Portal with Gul'dan and stuff. Yeah, you know, lore is lore. I'm not going to get into the lore. It's just too much. But PvP is what it's based on, World of Warcraft. Horde versus Alliance, and it's fun to sort of show your pride for the side that you're fighting with, but it's also pride for yourself because you want to feel the more dominant sometimes and just be like, yep, I can beat you in this 1v1, don't even try me, mate. And when you also see people running away from you after you've beaten them like 2 or 3 times 1v1, that's when you know that they've just given up. It's you win. That's always a good feeling, I'm not going to lie. That is always a good feeling. But look, I'm done for today. It's just a little insight onto Battlegrounds, sort of my experience with them, what they mean to me, etc. Like, we can... all of these tales, it's tough as a oh my god, as a first podcast, it's sort of tough to know where to go. I hope you understand me sort of stumbling through it a little bit, but it's been fun. It's been a bit weird talking, like, just to a mic, but it's been fun, and I would like to do this more in the future. There are obviously going to be different aspects to it, so PvE, stuff like that. Botting is a very big thing right now, so I might do that next podcast as well. But there's many different avenues that we can take this, and like many tales that we can tell, like, to each other. But thank you all for listening, guys, and I will see you next week for another tale. Laters all. Peace.